Hello madam, this research aims to study on factors that influence e-commerce adoption in Malaysia SME business. Firstly, I'm going to talk about our research objective, which are to determine the relationship between perceived relative advantage and e-commerce adoption by SMEs in Malaysia. Next, to identify the relationship between perceived compatibility and e-commerce adoption by SME in Malaysia. Besides that, to recognize the interrelation between e-commerce knowledge and e-commerce adoption by SME in Malaysia. In addition, to discover the correlation between management attitude and e-commerce adoption by SME in Malaysia, and lastly, to examine the connection between external change agents and e-commerce adoption by SME in Malaysia. The theory we used in our research is TOE model. This model identifies 5 independent variables that influence the adoption of e-commerce among the SMEs in Malaysia.
Moving on to Chapter 2, Literature Review. There's independent variable. First, which is price-related advantage. Second, price compatibility. Third, e-commerce expertise. Fourth, manager attitudes. 5. External change agents. And for the dependent variable, which is e-commerce adoptions. Next, for the research hypothesis, hypothesis 1 is the e-commerce adoption is strongly linked to price-related advantage. Hypothesis 2, price compatibility is significantly related to adoption of e-commerce. Hypothesis 3, e-commerce expertise is strongly linked to e-commerce adoptions. Hypothesis 4, attitude of management is crucial factor in e-commerce adoptions. Hypothesis 5, e-commerce adoption is strongly linked to the pressures of the external change agents. That's all for me. Thank you.
This study is using quantitative method and primary data as data collection with make a questionnaire survey for respondents to collect data. In this survey, it's about connected respondent data like gender, age, education, revenues, and other. Next, the type of measurement skill used in this study are nominal skill and ordinal skill.
Now let me continue to the next part, which is sampling. For sampling, we got population, sample size, and sampling method. The population of this study is 400 SME in Selangor Province, Malaysia. For sample size, 30 items were discovered by applying 5 Likert skills to test e-commerce adoption, focusing on identifying characteristics. Whereas the sampling method, we use a probability sampling, which is simple random sampling and systematic sampling. The analysis plan we use are structural model analysis and Pearson correlation method.
As a conclusion, this study helped SME management understand the factors that drive e-commerce adoption. This can help the company build e-commerce strategy for tactical advantage. Overall, this study can exist the OE, e-commerce, that is technology, organization, and environment. It's important to assist their productions to improve their commitments. The study also found an association between e-commerce use and Malaysian SME. In this chapter, we describe and suggest our research to enhance understanding and offer numerous solutions to help Malaysian SME implement e-commerce. SME play a significant part in the Malaysian economical development. SME must apply e-commerce adoptions elements such as prevents relative advantage and prevent competitive e-commerce knowledge and competence management attitude and external change agent to remain competitive and advantage with today's technology. Finally, we believe that SME can implement overall any factors to implement e-commerce, which is becoming more prevalent in today's business. Thank you.